Science has given us tons of advancements that without, we probably couldn't even imagine what our world would look like today. Medical advances, technological advances, and even psychological treatment. But unfortunately, some of these benefits we have now might not have been possible without a few questionable areas being explored. Some include experiments that can literally destroy the earth, twisted, mad scientists messing with your free will, and a real-life orgasmo. Remember that movie? Those South Park guys must have had some messed up childhoods. These are just a few things on today's list of most messed up experiments ever. First on our list, we've got something called stimosiever. A professor at Yale invented a radio device that can be implanted in the brain to control behavior. Most dramatically, he demonstrated its effectiveness by stopping a charging bull with the implant. Except this thing can also be used to control the minds of people. In one case, the implant caused erotic stimulation for a woman who stopped looking after herself and lost some motor functions after using the stimulator. She even developed an ulcer on her finger from constantly adjusting the amplitude dial too much. Who could blame her? Damn, can I get one of these for those lonely nights? Next on our list, the Large Hadron Collider. So this monolithic man-made structure is probably the largest and most expensive experiment ever carried out. The structure has a circumference of 17 miles and is 574 feet underground. The Large Hadron Collider cost over $13 billion to build. But what's it for? I don't really know. Something where some particles race towards each other close to the speed of light, and when they hit, we might find out something new about science. But scientists say, even though it's a really small chance, it is possible that when the two particles collide, they can form a black hole that can consume the Earth and possibly the entire universe. Happy Easter! Next on our list, reattaching a dog's head. Nice, right?
Yeah, baby, yeah!
The majestic, domesticated dog has been man's best friend for thousands of years. Sadly, sometimes we need to part ways with our faithful companions if their heads get accidentally chopped off. Who hasn't been there? Well, your problems are now solved. Maybe. Probably not. Well, around World War I, a group of Russian scientists, through experimentation, allegedly figured out how to keep a dog's head alive long enough to reattach it to his body, right?
I think I'm gonna be sick.
You know what, this entry is pretty sick. Let's just move. Next on our list, human mind trapped in the body of a mouse. Researchers at the Salk Institute in La Jolla discovered how to grow human brain cells by injecting human embryonic stem cells into the fetuses of mice. Yikes. Can you imagine the conscious, intelligent mind of a human inside the body of a mouse? But then again, how could he possibly know it has a mind of... Maybe he'll just grow up thinking he's the smartest mouse in his family and grow up to be a moody teenager and then work within Photoshop for a living or something. Next up, the Stanford Prison Experiment. Philip Zimbardo's Stanford Prisoner Experiment took place in the 1970s. The psychiatrist took 24 undergraduates and assigned them roles as either prisoners or guards in a pretend prison that was on campus. Within hours of beginning the experiment, some guards began to harass the prisoners. They behaved in a brutal and sadistic manner, apparently enjoying it. Other guards joined in, and other prisoners were also tormented. The prisoners were taunted with insults and petty orders. They were given pointless and boring tasks to accomplish. They were generally dehumanized. Push-ups were a common form of physical punishment imposed by the guards. 2 prisoners had to be removed early due to emotional trauma, and the whole experiment only lasted 6 of the planned 14 days. It showed just how easily normal individuals can become abusive in situations where it is encouraged. Next up, we've got the Milgram Experiment. Stanley Milgram was a psychologist at Yale. In 1963, he carried out an obedience experiment to see how far an individual would be pushed to do something unethical if instructed to by an authority figure. So the person would be instructed by Milgram to press a button that would shock another participant. Each button gave the other person a stronger shock than the last button having a strong enough voltage to kill him. While nobody died in this study, since the people being shocked were actually actors that were pretending to be shocked, 2/3 of the participants continued to the highest level of 450 volts, which is fatal. All the participants continued at least up to 300 volts. Milgram concluded that even ordinary people are likely to follow orders given by an authority figure, even to the extent of killing an innocent human being. Sigmund Freud and the case of Emma Eckstein. We've all heard of Sigmund Freud, the renowned psychologist that thought everything is weirdly sexual and having something to do with your mom. That's right, baby. But did you know that in the late 19th century, a woman named Emma Eckstein came to Freud to be treated for a nervous illness? He ended up diagnosing her with hysteria and excessive masturbation. I wonder how much qualifies as excessive. Anyways, his friend Wilhelm Fliess believed that hysteria and excessive masturbation could be treated by cauterizing the nose. That makes sense. When my car radio stopped working, I just changed the tires and boom, fixed. So this guy, Fliess, performed an operation on poor Emma where he essentially burned her nasal passages. Not too surprisingly, she suffered horrific infections and was left permanently disfigured, as Fliess had left surgical gauze in her nasal passage. Sadly, Emma wasn't the first, nor was she the last woman to have this procedure done. Unit 731. Unit 731 was a covert biological and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army that undertook lethal human experimentation during the Second Sino-Japanese War of World War II. Just think of these guys as Japan's evil Nazi scientists. Virtually the same thing. It's a pretty good idea for the next Call of Duty game, huh? Wonder who I need to talk to about that. Anyways, these guys carried out experiments on Chinese prisoners, like surgeries without anesthesia, gassings, and executions. I really don't want to get into so much detail because it's pretty gruesome, so I won't. And that's our list of the most messed up experiments ever carried out. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's my first video. I would really appreciate your subscription to see more videos, and it would really help me out if you would give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Hope you see some of my other videos in the future.